rolling on the river, rolling on the river.
Welcome back and welcome in. You've got some cum on your chin, wipe it off. It's making me sick. And watch my videos, you fucking prick. And welcome back to the channel of Major Luck 92, the shaman of gaming, and also welcome back to my aptly named series, which of course is called Rolling Back the Years, where I review my favourite or most memorable game, going backwards in the years from 2011 to as far back as I can record it. So before I actually get into the game that I've chosen, which obviously is from 2006, I just want to touch on the fact that I'm going to be putting a vlog out as my next video, the video that will precede this. Just touching on a few things that I'm planning to do in my, next batch of videos really, and the games I'm going to be playing, and the kind of videos I'm going to be making. So that vlog will be out probably either tomorrow or the next day, just because I've been having a few problems with my computer's render and upload speed, so it depends how quickly I get these up, this video rendered and uploaded really, as to when I'll have that video out. But yeah, I just thought I'd keep you all up to speed with what I'm planning to do anyway. So yeah, let's get into the game that I've chosen. Obviously from 2006, it wasn't a massively productive year for gaming really, and I think it's probably because this was as early in the Xbox 360's life cycle as you can get, and this game in particular, don't get me wrong, I probably haven't put as much time into this as an RPG than some of the other RPGs I've played, for example, like the Fallout games and even Skyrim. But this game, it's pretty much got to take a lot of the acclaim as being a gateway, excuse me, into, as close to a perfect RPG and perfect game as you're going to get. Really, I don't really believe there's a perfect version of anything, so I'm not going to say perfect RPG or game, but there is probably as close to a perfect game as you're going to get coming up later in this series from the 90s, so you can look forward to that, and it's actually my favourite game of all time. But anyway, we're getting off topic and getting off the game at hand. Obviously, this is the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and as I said, this pretty much, paved the way for Skyrim to be such a hugely epic and as close to a perfect RPG as you're gonna get really. There's probably some little features that you can add into it in the future and make it probably slightly better an RPG than Skyrim is, but this game pretty much opened the way for that vastness, and this game was probably my favourite game of the year and most memorable, and what have you. Probably for the same reason why a lot of my other favourite games are my favourite games, and I think it's sort of new features and diversity, and I mention the word diversity in general in my videos a lot, but it's something I'm really interested in games. If something's pushing the boat out and really changing stuff up and adding new features that people haven't seen before in any game, not let alone their own sort of game series, then that's really what I'm looking for in a new game, and this did it. I don't think there'd been a game as vast in size and scale as this previously. I think the only thing that probably touched it was the Final Fantasy games that came before it, but other than that, there was not a lot of games that had as vast and sort of epic landscapes and size of the whole game really, everything that's added into it in terms of weapons and magic, and just the size of all the environments, character sort of interaction and all that. I don't think there'd been anything quite as out there as this, and I think that's why it's regarded as one of the best role-playing games of its generation really. So I think that's probably why it's widely renowned as one of the best RPGs of all time, because it sort of opened the way for all these amazing RPGs, really, and it really does lead by example. If you're trying to make a a really perfect and outstanding role-playing game, this is really where you've got to look and then build on the successes of this game. So it's like Skyrim. Pretty much used this as a base camp and then built upon it. I think one of the main things that I like about this game over Skyrim is that there, in terms of in terms of environment, the sort of province of Cyrodiil, which obviously it is in this game, it's got a lot more range in sort of environments, from sort of grassy, wooded areas, as you can see, like in the entrance to this sort of tomb / temple / ruins that I'm in at the moment, to snowy fields and snowy mountain ranges, and then you have gravelly areas and all this kind of thing, and you have urban environments. Whereas Skyrim, a lot of it, the province of Skyrim is predominantly snowy, and I really like to have a lot of diversity. As I mentioned again, I really do need to find a new word. I might look in the dictionary after this and try and find a different word to use instead of diversity, because I really do overuse it. But anyway, yeah, I like the fact that this game ranges from so many different types of environment. But in terms of sort of gameplay mechanics that were really revolutionary for the time, I think this was the first game that really brought in dual wielding in the way that this game does, in terms of having something different in each hand. You can wield a sword in one hand and a shield in the other, or you can use two weapons. And I like the way that the magic works in this, because you just equip the magic and then you can use it in tandem with your dual wield, which is it's sort of replaced in Skyrim by the shouts, because you use magic by wielding it in one hand, whereas you then are using the shouts as the third thing, really. And in this game, you can use two weapons, or a weapon and a shield, and then the magic comes third. So yeah, I like the fact that you can do that. You can have it all equipped at the same time, and just the depth of being able to play the game the way you want it, building your character the way you want it. And this game, as I said, for its time, I think it had better character building and customization, and the way you interact with characters in the world was probably revolutionary for its time as well. So I think, again, that's just more reasons piled on to why this game was regarded so highly in terms of games overall, and role-playing games of this generation. I'm not really sure, how. I think this video is about 17 minutes long, so you might have to excuse. You might not want to watch it all. But as long as it can stay entertaining and somewhat, intellectual and informative for that whole 17 minutes, then stick around. I don't really know what I'm going to say for the rest of this video, other than this definitely is within the top 10 RPGs of all time. That might not be official, because a list was actually released the other day. I'm not sure exactly what the top 10 was, but in terms of the ones I've played, this definitely ranks really highly, and I think it is just because it added so many new features, and the way that you can sort of play the game the way you want it, as I've mentioned earlier in the video. Again, revolutionary. You hadn't really seen that, and I like to be able to just do what I want, really, when the game's so vast. It's all well and good having a huge environment and huge amount of places that you can explore and people to speak to and all that kind of thing, but if you're restricted in the sort of things you can do, then it's not very much fun at all. And one thing that sounds like really unimportant, but I think an RPG should always have, is you should be able to have fun and just sort of do what you want and wander around and do fun things that you enjoy to do within the game without actually doing any of the missions. A perfect example for this is Grand Theft Auto. People you know, I know some people, like my youngest sister actually plays Grand Theft Auto quite a lot, or she did, and you know, she'd have so much fun just messing about and you know, just driving around and mowing people down or whatever without doing any of the missions. And I think role-playing games should have that element in it. You know, it should have so many features and so many places, so much fun stuff that you can do that, you know, you should be able to have fun without actually doing all the missions and stuff that needs to be done. I think this game was one of the first to bring, as you can see, it just reminded me now because I'm flicking through the menu on the video just there, that I think it's the first game that really brought in sort of more complicated, you know, menu systems and upgrade systems. It's been such a long time since I actually played this game properly that I can't really remember how the leveling up system works. If anybody remembers, just deposit a comment in the comments envelope slot in down below. I don't want to use a comment section thing, it sounds dull, but yeah, I think it was the first game to really bring, you know, more complicated leveling up system, and there's so many different things you can do. And I think what's so good about the Elder Scrolls games, I know in this one and in Skyrim, you level up individual things, you know, like agility, you'll level that up by jumping, or, you know, you will level up your sort of hand-to-hand by using your fists, you know, level up your light armor and heavy armor by using them in tandem with different things. And I think that's a really, you know, it rewards you for experimenting and using different things, you know, because if you throw on some heavy armor and then you know, level out really high, then if you fight something that's quite big and cumbersome and you would be more benefited by using light armor and moving around quickly, then you're going to have a bit of a struggle. So it sort of rewards you for, you know, as I said, pushing the boat out, trying all the different stuff out, which I think that's the beauty of these games, is experimenting with different stuff for different, you know, using different stuff, different techniques, and you know, seeing what works. And that's the beauty of building your own character. You know, if, like I said, you might struggle with some things, but if that's the way you want to build your character, then you can do it really comfortably. And you know, having sort of so many, I know, styles of play really is really beneficial. And you know, it's all well and good, like at the beginning of a game, RPGs, a lot of the time you get to choose your, you know, style of character. Usually it's like in this game, it's the race and then your class, and sometimes it's got sort of subcategories. It's all well and good doing that, but that sort of restricts you in a way in some other games where it shows you, you know, your class, and it sort of really boosts certain stats on your character. In the Elder Scrolls games, it really works well because, you know, you choose your class and you start off with some benefits to some things, but then it still opens up all these different categories of, you know, agility, small weapons, heavy armor, light armor, you know, all these different things, and it just really doesn't restrict you from any type of sort of gameplay or strategies or, you know, character that you want to build. So I think this video's got a little bit to run, and I can't remember exactly what this mission is I'm doing. I originally intended to show the bit where I actually went and collected. See, that skeleton just got fucked all the way up. But yeah, I originally intended to actually show the bit where I went and sort of collected the quest itself, so you could see what I was actually doing here. But it just made the video too long. It was just ridiculous. You know, this video is long anyway. I've struggled to talk for whatever 17 minutes. But I believe I have to go and sort of recover somebody from this ruin, and it turns out that he's had a bit of a problem, and I can't really retrieve him in his current form, so to speak. And I remember the first time I ever started this game, I was really overwhelmed. I think the only time, and that is another thing I really look for in a game. I I like to have a really fresh and new game that I can really just sit down and get into. And you know, it's difficult with some games when they're so linear because you can sort of predict what's going to happen, but having a game that's so vast that you can get into it and play it for hours and sort of never see the same type of things happening in you know, different kind of places, then that's the type of game I'm really looking for. But in terms of when I started this game, I was just about to say, I don't think I've ever felt as overwhelmed because I hadn't played a game as vast as this, you know, as I said, because it was revolutionary in its size for its time. The only other time I've really felt this overwhelmed is when I started playing Dark Souls. And you know what's different about this game is when you go down into ruins, you pretty much need to take torches with you, and you know, Skyrim, you don't really. There's enough light so you can see in all these different places. But in this game, I remember going down into a ruin type place like this really early on in the game and running out of torches, and I was just fumbling around in the dark, and I was tossing zombies off, and and shit like that. But as you can see at the moment, I am giving this fucking... I think this is the guy I'm supposed to retrieve, and he's, like I said, he's fucked all the way up. And he's about to fucking feel my wrath. There he goes. Face Plantio. There it is. That's that guy there to come and retrieve. Anyway, I'm absolutely talking shit now, because I really can't think of anything else to say other than the fact that this is definitely one of the greatest RPGs of its time, and probably will be regarded, you know, widely for this fact for a long time to come, and it'll always be looked back on with fond memories. And you know, similar to like Call of Duty 4 is, and obviously that's a completely different category, but people look back on that with fond memories, like that's the best of its time. And I think this, as I said, really opens the way up, shows, you know, leads by example of exactly how to make a near perfect RPG, or at least a gateway to a near perfect RPG. So I'm just about to go and complete this quest and escape from this fucking hellhole-ish fucking whorehouse of our house in the middle of a fucking horrible ruin. Let me out. I'm getting raped in a corner right now. But yeah, as I said, perfect example of how to lay a base camp for a perfect RPG. And as I said, probably my favourite and most memorable game from 2006. As I said, it wasn't a great year for gaming, actually. What I've been doing is just looking through the lists, seeing which games I played, and then, you know, sort of thinking about it for a little bit and seeing which one felt right and was actually probably my favourite, or you know, the one I spent most time in, or have the, you know, best memories or thoughts about, really. So this was the one from 2006. This is about the end of the video as I emerge from this hellhole-ish place. And yeah, that's about the end of the video. We will cock you. Now, there will be 2 videos linked straight after the end of this video, which are my previous ones. I will thank you for watching, and hopefully you will come back for the next video, as I said before, which will be my vlog of future plans. So thanks for watching yet again, and I will see you very soon. Penguin porn.